Hey guys, it's Mike with another Gilded Guardians video. Today we got a Spotlight Champ video on Oxellus. We just pulled him on the main account, so we got him outfitted with the best gear that I have, as well as a attack bow to get his attack up a little bit, bringing him to 622,000. Our goal again is to always have him right between 600 and 650, just to compare apples to apples. And we're going to go into the Great Forge. That seems to be the best place as far as difficulty level, even though a lot of times we're going to end up one-shotting folks. But the reality is not everybody has a lot of damage, so we got to make sure we think about that when we start comparing some of the more support characters. Now, Oxellus is a support character. He's a Vulos Intelligence Redeemer support, and he does have a pretty interesting kit. His first or his ultimate ability is Replicant, and he randomly creates a clone of Inara, Tamamo, or Thorit that will cast a level 1 ultimate before vanishing. So basically, he's going to cast one of their level 1 abilities. Inara's number 1 ability is the knockback tornado, and then Thorit's number 1 ability is Carnival Celerity. And for 5 seconds, all allies will increase their attack speed and movement speed. And if we go into the Guardian decks, we can grab a Tamamo right here, and her ultimate ability is Mind Break. All enemies fall asleep for 4 seconds. After waking up, they are damaged for 25% of total damage they received while asleep. So you're hitting them while they're sleeping for 4 seconds, then they wake up and take an extra 25% of all that damage. So that is a pretty cool ability. So he's going to randomly go through all of those abilities, and that's going to be his ultimate. Now, the tough thing with that is I think it's just random. Like, there's no way to say, hey, I would really like Inara's ability this time or Tamamo's ability that time. It's just going to pick one of the three. And so he's going to be a little bit harder to count on and deliver what you want when you want it. His second ability is Chromatic Shift. He randomly changes the color of his skin to red or blue for 6 seconds. If he's red, he's immune to physical damage, and allies reduce physical damage taken by 20%. If he's blue, he's immune to magic damage, and allies reduce magic damage by 20%. So he's immune to damage completely, physical or magic, depending on what color he is. But the allies are immune by 20%, so they're going to take less damage, which is a great way to support your characters and just make sure they're not getting hit as hard as they would be otherwise. Lullaby here is a AoE ability. Oxellus sings a magic lullaby, dealing 150% of attack as magic damage to all enemies and reducing their attack speed by 20% for 5 seconds. So this will be probably where a majority of his damage comes from. And then last is his passive Shared Fate. At the start of battle, Oxellus links his fate to an enemy, and when Oxellus takes damage, the linked enemy also receives 40% of that damage. So that's an enemy he's linking to, and he's basically reflecting 40% of the damage back onto them. So that's kind of a cool ability as well, but I think, again, it's going to be random. So he's going to randomly link to an enemy, and that's the enemy that's going to receive that extra 40% damage. But we're going to grab Oxellus here. We're going to bring him into the Great Forge. We're going to give him a shot to shine and see how this goes. We are doing challenge 1. It's recommended power 85. I think this is going to be the best place for us to compare these champions. But it might change over time. But for right now, I think this is where we're gonna go. Again, we're trying not to pick up any runes or anything that's going to affect him in any major way. So we're just trying to inspire him. We're gonna take it off 2 times so we can see his abilities. Try not to let him get stunned, and then we're going to and see what everything is that he does. So here we are in that first room, the first fight. We're going to go ahead and probably move him to the back just to be consistent. Typically, he will be fighting from the back. We'll see what he's got going on here. So right now he's got immunity because his skin is red and they're doing physical damage, I guess. So now he's stunned. He's singing a lullaby, and that was his AoE attack that killed everybody. So he was pretty good on the damage front. He was immune to all the physical damage while his skin was red. So that worked out pretty well. All right, moving on to that second room, we're going to go ahead and hit go. So he is putting up his... I haven't seen him turn blue yet, so I'm assuming he's just immune to physical damage. Here's Inara, so this is his ultimate ability. She's coming in to do her ultimate, and then she disappears. Now he's just doing a basic attack, knocked him out. And we're doing his lullaby? Oh no, now he's got Thorit speeding him up, so he's doing his other ultimate ability, and it randomly picked Thorit. And I think that was his lullaby that ended up killing him with the musical notes going around him there. All right, we're rolling into that third and final fight. We're gonna go ahead and get him going here, and we're gonna see which of his ultimate abilities he's doing. Again, he's immune to physical damage. I have not seen his skin turn blue, so I'm not sure that it does. But he sang his lullaby, did AoE damage. He's gonna summon. Looks like we'll find out who it is. Okay, we got Thorit down here speeding him up, and he's doing his basic attack here, and was able to get through it. So ultimately with Oxellus, I think that he's a really cool champ, and his skills are pretty neat, but they're really hard to count on. He seemed to be very durable, and he does do some damage with this lullaby ability as well as his basic attack. So he was able to get through and stay alive, but I would be nervous with his replicant. Like, I mean, when he was calling Thorit at the end of that battle and he's speeding himself up, that's not really doing anything other than prolonging the fight. He could have done Inara's ability or potentially Tamamo's ability and finished the fight, but he happened to call Thorit. The other pieces on the chromatic shift, if he's switching between physical and magic and he's in a room where one or the other is the only damage happening, it could be kind of rough if he's not choosing the right one, because that is a random effect as well. So there's just a lot of random in his kit that makes him very difficult to count on when you need to count on him. But he is a cool champ. He's a great support character. He can help keep your team alive. I think that as far as support characters, he's probably not going to make the top tier, but he is kind of fun in his kit, and you don't really know what to expect from it at any given time. He'll definitely keep you guessing on what to expect, but he can also help out in a lot of different ways. If he happens to pull the right move at the right time, it can be very beneficial. So he is a cool champ. I like him a lot. He was able to get through that dungeon. I anticipate as we go through, some of these characters will not be able to clear that dungeon. But we'll find out. Maybe we might have to change the dungeon up that we're comparing them in. But hopefully you found this useful and helpful. And if you pulled an Oxellus, now you have a little better idea of where and how to use them. I think he belongs in the back row as a support champion. As a support champion, I do feel like he is doing a little bit of damage as well with that AoE lullaby, which is kind of a nice fit compared to like a Grizel. I don't think Grizel's doing that much damage. She's more about helping your characters, and she does have some single target stuff. But he's going to be kind of a different fit, help build defense and keep your team immune and take less damage. But that's what I got for you on the Oxellus highlight, and I look forward to seeing you next time.